He's just been on tour in the US and France. He's also just released a duet with the Brazilian singer Ana Carolina. Monocle's Tom Burges Watson paid him a visit in Naples and started off by asking him to sing one of his classics.
Tu sei una cosa grande per me, una cosa che mi fa innamorare, una cosa che se tu guarda a me, mi innamora così guardando a te. Vorrei sapere una cosa da te, perché quando ti guardo. Ma la musica napoletana.
Neapolitan music is a cultural style that is recognized across the world. The songs I write for my albums draw on my own culture, namely where and how I grew up. Ever since I was a child, I've been immersed in this musical tradition. When I express myself and write music, I write what comes to me most naturally. Neapolitan music is in everybody's heart and touches everyone.
Maruzzella, Maruzzella, te miseri dall'occhio ma e mi viso invietta a me, non dispiace. Quindi credo che la musica.
I think that Neapolitan music was heavily influenced by the music of the classical composers and the acoustic instruments they used in their performances. I'm talking about string instruments, mandolins, instruments that you pluck, drums and so on. And then there were the ladies who sang as they did their laundry. That's also where many of our popular songs came from.
Do you think the music of Naples is evolving, or do you think it's a little bit in the past? Do you think it's modernizing itself and changing with the times, or do you feel like it's staying the same?
Io credo che
I think that our incredibly strong culture has had some major changes, thanks to certain individuals, and a more modern style has evolved.
Uno di questi negli anni 50.
One of these individuals was Renato Carosone, who, in the 1950s, changed and modified the tradition. He was light years ahead of his time, mixing jazz, blues, and the local Neapolitan style. And so a new kind of music was born in the 1950s. It wasn't until very many years later that the new individuals came onto the scene, such as Edoardo Bonato and Pino Danieli, who once again revived a musical tradition during the 80s.
Napoli mille colore, Napoli mille paure.
Attraverso il dialetto napoletano che è stato riconosciuto dall'UNESCO.
A tradition which, don't forget, has its own proper language. Neapolitan is a language recognized by UNESCO. It isn't a dialect. Naples has changed, and I think Pino Danieli was a great innovator, and the tradition was given a new lease of life. Then there have also been major changes in fashion and tastes, and right now rap has entered into the Italian music scene in a major way, and also into the Neapolitan music scene too.
Quelli campani e anche napoletani.
The first rapper to introduce rap into his song in Italy was in a Neapolitan song. It was when Renato Carosone released the song Pigliato in una pastiglia, which goes like this.
Alle palline grigero fosfato bromo televisionato DDT bicarbonato borotal che semolina catapace e semolina una gustata fiorentina mortadelle due panini con un mietolo di trevino un caffè con caffeina grammi 003. Ah.
Figlia della pastiglia sienta a me.
You've just been on the tour around the world outside Italy. Tell us where you went and how people received your music.
Io sono stato ad Atlantic City.
I was in Atlantic City for the first time. I was born in the US. My dream was to come back and sing for the Italians who had moved overseas, but kept in touch with their cultural origins. I hadn't been back for nearly 40 years, and people would ask me, how come you've never been back? You were born there. But I made myself a promise that I would go back with my family and that I would do two things, visit and perform. And the moment came. I also had a dream a few years back to take my music to Paris, and I managed to do this. And it was great to win over lots of French fans, who didn't know me, but who came along to the concert anyway for one reason or another. And leaving the venue and seeing their reaction was magical. I want my music to be for everyone, and I want to take it everywhere.
as coisas com que se constrói o mundo, esse mundo onde escolhemos.
Beautiful stuff. That was Sal Da Vinci speaking to Tom Burges Watson in Naples.